Um, Hello, I'm Kyle Sullivan. I'm the director of Garden of the Gods. I think that's a clerical error, and that's fine. I mostly just lift heavy things. M.K. Bushnell is with us. She worked on the film, and what exactly did you do? And tell me if you liked it or not.
I don't know. I wandered on set. Um, I was head of costumes, so
That's right.
I made sure people actually had clothes to wear on the set.
Yeah, that's
People,
right. Yeah.
everybody off camera, I couldn't help. So, yeah.
Couldn't do anything for the way I dressed. Um,
hmm
so let's talk about the costuming. The
Sure.
crazy scene for you, I imagine, is the party scene. Our day two of our shooting with all of the Day of the Dead extras and such like that. Talk to me about that day. What was the worst thing, the biggest worry you had going into that?
Okay, I'll give you the biggest worry, and the fact that it didn't happen and something else did. Um, my worry was that the people that we had asked to show up in the costumes that they had pictured themselves in, that they wouldn't show up in them, and just assume that I could just whip something up. That didn't happen, but we did have two women show up in the exact same costumes, and I don't know how it happened because the costumes were very, very unique, but they did. And then it was just like, I don't know what, I don't know
What?
which, somebody sent me a photo, and I was going crazy because I was like, am I seeing double? I mean, there's a lot of people here. Maybe it's the same lady, but we
What,
were like, no,
what was the costume? I don't recall. Obviously, but
because we're good, Kyle. We're good. Um, it was like checked. It was like the women had like this tutu that was like checkered, like
Hmm.
black and white.
Huh.
Tulle
Okay.
underneath, black. I think it was black tulle, and had this hat. The costume was very elaborate, and that's why we were all flabbergasted. Like, we would have noticed if there were two people who were like, "Can I do this?" So I don't know. They were great. They were great costumes. We just had to like, you can't wear this. Here's this instead. Like, we switched it up so that I don't. It sounds like you never noticed.
Oh
So
no, no.
I bet that those ladies were never on screen together. And
No,
if you,
I had no idea how well oiled you guys' machine was. I did notice the lady wearing the big red dress with the heart right in the middle, but she stood out. Every time I walked in the house, you guys had this machine going, and it was just like, wow, some people are better. Professionals are working on this. I'm just going to go back in the backyard.
yeah, we had a lot of prep though. That was because that scene was the most stress-inducing one.
Hmm.
We had to have a lot of pre-production meetings, kind of like meetings about that specific factor of the extras, and that's new because usually you're focused on the main characters, and you're like, like, especially with indie films, it's like, we need the bodies. But with this, it was like, we need the bodies in a specific way, and we need to have these groups so that we have the right ratio of people in these really cool, like, authentic costumes, and then people who are kind of half doing it,
Hmm.
and then the people who just kind of showed up and are like, we're here to party. We're
Yeah.
just here having a beer. And so getting that right, like a recipe, striking the right balance was involved more organizing than, it was almost like for Mike and Felix, it was a relief to just work on two guys versus, yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
and they didn't change. They wore the same clothes all throughout. Like it was just like, oh, nice.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad it wasn't like over a couple of days and you need, wardrobes for them. I would have lost a lot more sleep, but
Yeah,
it was,
everyone thinks that like when you want to make a movie or something that your hero needs to be handsome, they need to punch well, you need to have a really expensive camera. But to me, it's sound. 51% of a picture is sound. It's all the background actors, all the set decoration, all the costumes, all the world building. That's how you make it believable. That's how you pull people into the story. And this
yeah,
party scene it looked gorgeous. All these costumes, these people were walking around in an organized way. We made the place look much bigger than it should have been. And the extras were fantastic. I
They
mean,
were. It was it was a party. I
yeah,
mean, I was walking around, like, once everybody was there and dressed, at that point I was just like, okay, just stay where you are. And but yeah, we had people coming in and out and adjustments, and yeah, at that point it was like we were having our own little Day of the Dead party during
yeah.
filming. So it was fun. And the
So
group was great.
the group.
Yeah, the group of the crew, but also the
Oh,
extras that came. They were all very game and just excited, and you want that,
I
especially
didn't.
when you're
I didn't hear
standing
anyone
around.
complain. I didn't. They were. It was freezing outside, and they're hanging out for each take, doing the same. I mean, they were really good about it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
mentioned that. I mean, one of the things you were most worried about in
Mhm.
terms of costume, but is there something about that day that surprised you the most?
Um, Surprised me the most. Um, that it came together. I
Yeah,
was so
me
worried.
too.
I was just like, wow, okay, everybody's here and everybody is doing what they said they were going to do, and you get a lot of flakiness.
Yeah,
And again, there was a lot of enthusiasm, and and we were worried about it being too cold, and it was cold, but I think the excitement and the adrenaline made it not too terrible. To be honest, I was inside for most of it because I had to, watch
yeah.
this stuff. So I was in the house, but um, we had like hand warmers and people had blankets, and it just became a fun, like, let's suffer together kind of thing.
Yeah, misery loves company.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody was cold. So,
Um, you said that in jest that worrying about the main characters is almost a relief compared to all the party goers. But were
yeah.
there any issues or challenges in dealing with them? Same costumes over and over, but is that also a challenge on multiple days of shooting?
Well, I think the near the later days of shooting when we were having to work in the house and the masonry stuff. I know there was a lot of logistics with the jumpsuits and how distressed they should be, and I know Felix's jacket. I think it was Daniel's jacket, and we wanted to be respectful. And so there, like, it was a great. They all brought their own clothes, and I was picking out the stuff, and I happened to pick his favorite jacket. So we had to make some. I was like, I'm sorry. That's kind of a hot tip for filming for future, like, for actors, is that, like, if you really like something, don't bring it as a
Don't bring
choice.
it.
Don't bring it. If it's your favorite, like, top, like, leave it at home. Don't even show it to the costume designer because they're going to want it. It's something like energetically about your favorite clothes that you bring.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can tell. We gravitate. So that was so working in the house. I think just because we had brought in the just being confined and making sure that the clothes and the makeup and everything was because I know Felix's decaying face and
hmm
dying. Yeah, there was just a little bit. It's just more localized in regards to, like, the stress, because
yeah,
I could focus on, like, the collars and the way the shirts were laying, and the jumpsuit and how dirty it was getting, and the boots. So yeah,
yeah.
it became a lot more like, okay, now I just got two people. What can I get all OCD?
It was still a little bit easier than dealing with 30. I want to 30 or 40 extras or however many
Yeah, yeah.
times.
That was a lot of, like, letting go. Just kind of like, okay, yep, this works. I like this, and, like, don't get too, because you can get really into, like, perfectionism, and that can be more harmful than just rolling with it.
Is that
Which is what
something
I
that attracts you to doing costuming? Is that you can be the attention to detail can be so high?
I like that you can the attention to detail. Um, I worked in a costume shop when I was in college.
Oh, wow.
And so you would take a design all the way through. And some of the costumes were costumes that I would be wearing. So, personal investment. But it was nice to be able to kind of put different things in it that would feed the character. And, if I'd be working a lot of with costumes where it was very like black box intimate settings, like film, where people are going to be able to see the clothes up close and the props up close. And to be able to really get in the nitty gritty with that stuff is fun. But there are points where you have to say, like, do I sacrifice sleep more, or do I just say, you know what, this is good. This is we can stop here, and I'm not going to drive myself crazy trying to reach this imaginary perfect drape of a robe or something like that.
Yeah. That's sort of an encapsulation of filmmaking in general is an exercise in learning to let go. This is because you can fiddle with it until you die.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one department to stay in for the rest of time, would it be costume? Are there other departments you're attracted to?
I like costume and makeup. I find it really creative. I probably in that realm. I like that part of like hanging out with the actors, and there's a lot of there's a lot of kind of in regards to like socially, because you're working so closely with them, you do get to have a relationship with them, and you kind of see a little bit more of the vulnerability of these performers because you're up close and they're like, does this look good? Or, am I supposed to be doing this or that? And at that point, like the costume work is done. But then like in regards to my relationship with that actor, it's, you look great. This is fine. This is how it's supposed to fall. You're doing a fantastic job. A little bit of like, confidence boost. Kind of talk to them the way that I have a theater background. The way I would like to be spoken to right before I go on stage. It's like, you're doing great. Trust yourself. So that's kind of a unspoken part of doing the costumes, is that you have to kind of reassure and help build that trust.
You're like a coach.
Yeah, a little bit of life coaching.
Yeah, a little bit of life coaching. Get in there, Tiger. You can get them. Yeah.
That's right. It's a difference for the performance. So, if they're not comfortable in what they're in,
it makes it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. I mean, not only did he did a great job with getting all the visuals tight for the film, but like getting someone comfortable enough in their own skin to get out in front of a camera and perform in front of people, that's hard,
Yeah.
And, what you wear in public, there's a psychological thing going on there where you don't even know if you're uncomfortable or not. And I don't know anything about it, So it's kind of a magic thing that you costume people do. So.
Yeah, well, we all get dressed every day. So like we all have an image, whether or not you choose to use that to your advantage or not, you are projecting something always at any point. When you go out to get your mail, go to the grocery store, go to a party,
Yeah.
So it's part of that is kind of shaping that in film, and working with the actors to kind of make sure that we're all on the same page. Like, here's your vision of the character, here's mine. The director, like, we're all trying to find that Venn diagram where everybody's ideas.
Exactly. Well, do you have anything else you want to add before we close in regards to this film, or in general about like what kind of production you do in the area or in general?
Oh goodness. I'm really new in regards to costumes for film, so almost check back with me in regards to whether or not I have a preference, because right now I'm just kind of looking around, looking for different opportunities, and the productions I've worked on so far have been contemporary, Trying my hand at something period would be fascinating, but also really, really scary because I don't know how I'd approach it.
So I should call you when I do a medieval samurai film, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And have some talks about that. Be like, what, where, how? Tell me more. I think, you gave me mood boards for this, so that was super helpful.
That sounds like we were pretty organized. I don't even remember that.
I think I requested them.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me which y'all are wanting.
That's right. We did do that. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Organization was a strength here. And you guys like totally nailed it. So it absolutely would not have been possible without you being on set and doing the things you're doing, and just hugely appreciative of that. And of you taking the time to, talk to me for a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you like reaching out and, bringing me on board. I think Nat Bonner, who did makeup, introduced me to y'all, and very grateful for that opportunity. So it's been fun. And it's great to revisit it after how many months?
It's been, we shot it in February, and I think what year is this? 2028 now? We've been in lockdown forever.
Yep.
But in any case, thank you very much. Go off, have a nice day, and I guess I'll talk to you when we get that samurai film in motion.
Yeah. Well, I have thoughts. I have many thoughts on that.
All right.